Chairman, you hit it right on there. The term that is being used, over the horizon, which merely means that you're taking troops out of the area and conducting your activity from another country. And that's something that I disagreed with in the previous administration. The last administration pulled nearly all of the 200 troops that we had in Somalia out. And that was the previous administration. I disagreed with that at that time. And I really think that we were right in disagreeing with that. History has shown that it doesn't work as well from an adjoining country as it does from the country where the activity is. So I'd ask the General Townsend, I know you're going to be able to do this and we'll continue to do it, but doesn't an over-the-horizon counterterrorism strategy in Somalia make your job harder? General Townsend.
Ranking Member, I would agree with General McKenzie's characterization. It makes it more difficult. It doesn't make it impossible.
Yeah, well, I understand that, and I'd say the same thing, and I know that General McKenzie has already expressed, yeah, it makes it more difficult, but it doesn't make it impossible, because you guys are soldiers, and you have a duty to do, and you'll do it. Now, General McKenzie, are you concerned that we won't be able to secure and maintain the U.S. Embassy? Tell me if all this happens as it is designed to happen in Afghanistan, what will be our situation with the embassy?
Sir, I believe it is our desire to retain an embassy presence in Afghanistan.
Oh, you got to protect them, right?
So we do, and of course,
secure them.
Sir, we do. Of course, protection of an embassy is the responsibility of the host nation. Most of our embassies around the world have very little military presence there because the host nation lives up to their obligations. It is a matter of very much great concern to me, and I think everyone, whether or not the future government of Afghanistan is going to be able to do that after we leave. That'll be determined here over the next few weeks as we begin our drawdown and we evaluate the security platform that is there.
Will you be able to make that determination as the drawdown is occurring? My concern is if we get to the point where we don't have that help, we would be depending on another country to do what we always do on our own, and that is defend and secure the embassies. That concerns you?
Ranking Member, it does concern me, but I would say if we have concerns about the physical security of the embassy, the United States will take whatever measures are necessary to ensure the safety of our diplomats. So we will do that based on the security situation as it exists on the ground in Kabul.
And I would hope that you'd anticipate that if there are going to be problems, if there's signs of problems as the drawdown continues, that you'd be on top of that, and I'm sure you will be. In AFRICOM, General Townsend, the administration is conducting a global force posture review. Now, that actually started in the previous administration, and I can remember at that time cautioning the Secretary of Defense that we don't have a lot of assets there, and we don't have a lot of protection there, and that's something that has concerned me before, and the same concern is out there right now. We have less than, 6,000, I guess, personnel, and we face the shortfalls in the ISR capability. These things are there. What would you say, General Townsend, is your biggest resource gap that would impact your ability to do your job?
Thanks, Ranking Member. As you pointed out, we underwent the blank slate review or COCOM review in the previous administration. And by the time we got to the end of that, AFRICOM was still largely intact. I think we removed about 365 troops from the continent. As you pointed out, there's just no fat to cut there. We did lose some funding in the various programs. I don't want to get ahead of my civilian leaders on the global posture review, so I'll defer discussing options about forces and posture. But I would say that wherever we have forces in Africa, there are three things that we will need there. First would be proper amount of personnel recovery and casualty evacuation and medical treatment to make sure our troops are properly protected. Second, as you mentioned, is ISR. And with the loss of the OCO and the ISR transfer fund, that puts at risk one of our primary sources of ISR, which is contracted ISR in Africa. And then the third thing I would say would be funding for building partner capacity and exercises with our partners. We do everything in Africa through partners. There's no activity that America conducts unilaterally in the lead for. So building partner capacity is how we help the Africans and our international partners the most. So I'd say those are the three things we'll need regardless of what our future posture might be.
Well, and I agree wholeheartedly with that, and I'm glad that you're coming out forcefully and making those statements. And when you point out that we're in a continent that are 3.5 times the size of our country, I hadn't heard that before, and we got to be aware of that. This is a problem. We need to have the resources in there to do the job. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.